we're dying to know what you think about Richard Hart.
I was just going to ask that.
I think Richard Hart's a genius.
Why?
For entertainment purposes only. You'd be an idiot to listen to anything these degenerates say. Invest at your own risk, do research, but seriously don't listen to these ass clowns. Now enjoy Cash Daddies.
Welcome to Cash Daddies. We're banking fatties. Daddy is a little under the weather, but he's here because he cares.
Yeah.
Joining me as always on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny, and Carl. Carl in the back.
The hardest working man in WeWork. I tell you, he's just always going.
Nobody stops working like Carl. And then from a log cabin that used to own slaves, Howie doing? Howie, how are you?
I'm too far north for the only slave in this cabin's me.
Okay, I love it. I'm a little under the weather. I have baby AIDS, so I'm not going to be full of energy that I normally do, but let's get into it real quick. Guys, if you're anywhere near Louisiana, I'm there this weekend, and I'm at Baton Rouge, and then I'm in San Diego the following week at the American Comedy Company. Come get weird. Let's get into it. Let's go.
How you had a big week. Debt ceiling finally got a move on that. How does that affect the markets? What are we seeing there?
I mean, we knew it was going to pass. We said it was factored in. Didn't really do much. I mean, NASDAQ up a little bit. Dow was actually down. It was all factored in. No big deal. The biggest news is, which is a good thing, is they're going to cut some money out of these IRS guys going after everybody. So
are they?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things Republicans wanted. I think they're going to get it. It's a good thing. I mean, it's like, come on, man. You don't need to spend $80 billion or whatever on IRS agents. It's like,
the economy was already crushing people, and it's like the IRS is just putting their boot on the neck of all these people that need that money more than anything. It's infuriating.
They in theory they have the debt ceiling's passed. It's got to pass for Congress. It looks like it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I look probably for a little correction in the market from here on out because everything's factored in. Earnings are almost over. There's a few today. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little sell-off tomorrow, which would be a good thing. But during the week, we crushed Friday buying Ford calls. Oh my God. I mean, we bought them Thursday. I sold Friday up 60%. This one dude who had a birthday, should got his name, on a Thursday night, he got too fucked up, couldn't wake up Friday, sold them today. Dude's got to be up 150% because Ford was up just cranked today. All on it got upgraded and basically on the F-150. They think that Tesla can compete in a lot of good markets, but not the trucking market. Hell no. I mean, that's still Ford's.
They haven't made one truck. They can't make the one truck they said they were going to make. It's not out yet. It's been how many years? Was that 3 years ago they announced the Cybertruck?
Yeah. So, what's Elon do? He gets on a plane, he goes over, he's meeting with the premier of China today.
I saw.
And that's interesting because, look, of all the news that's come out in the past week, the GDP in China is at an all-time low. Their economy is in the shitter. Forget about all the 25-year-old and younger that aren't working. They have a huge unemployment rate. They're not producing anything right now. They're not shipping shit out. They got Musk over there talking to him. And like somebody said today, China needs Elon Musk a lot more than Elon Musk needs China. Because a lot of these big companies, they've already moved out of China. And there's a ton more looking to leave. So I think China's going to
what do you think that does to China? Is that going to we never know what's real out of China, right? We never know what's from both what China's telling us and what are the U.S. government's telling you. Because the U.S. government wants you to think they're super oppressive and they're evil, So depopulation issue, really bad.
Their economy, I think what it does, one thing China is not, they're not stupid. They made some mistakes with this COVID. I mean, shut down. What happens? You stop making products. Your economy starts shrinking. And next thing you know, you're in the shitter, which they are right now. But I think that gives us a huge upper hand, man, because they got to start playing ball. China's got to start playing ball. So I think that's a good thing all around. Musk is over there. I don't know what's going to happen. He's threatened to leave and pull out. I guarantee you they're tossing the kitchen sink at him, getting him to stay. So
yeah,
that's going to be damn interesting to see what happens. I like it in the fact that I looked at, a lot of Chinese stocks today, like Alibaba at 78, just dropping and dropping and dropping. To me, that's opportunity. At some point, we'll go in and we'll buy some of these Chinese stocks. Not yet, but at some point we will. On a smaller scale, it's kind of like some of these companies in the U.S. Like I'm in Target the other day. And I'm in Target just dicking around. Girlfriend almost killed me. I'm trying on like sports bras and, asking for tuck underwear for men and just being stupid. Laughing my ass off like a little kid because I don't give a shit. It's funny. When you walk into a store and you see a pair of underwear with a tuck situation, if you can keep a straight face with that, I give you credit because I was fucking laughing like a 2-year-old for an hour. Just being like so immature. But you look at Target, whoa, that stock's taking an ass beating. I mean, just an ass beating. I don't even know.
Here's the problem with Target, right? Is the left is robbing them blind, literally going in there and stealing everything. And the right won't buy any of their products anymore. Now, I think it's hilarious because what's his name? Who's the guy that we all hate? What's his name? The evil old guy that helped the Nazis find Jews. What's his name?
Oh, George Soros.
George Soros, who has funded all of these woke DEAs. These woke DAs.
Yeah.
That basically have allowed law and order to just be gone and embracing these young kids to start stealing. Now they're stealing from a store. So it's hilarious. So, yeah.
Did you see the Lululemon thing this week? Did you see the Lululemon thing? Those 2 girls got fired for calling the cops on shoplifters. Did you see the story this week?
That's just unfucking. They were talking about that on TV today. They actually tried to stop the shoplifters.
They called the cops.
They called the cops, tried to stop them, and the store fired him.
And what was Lululemon's argument?
Here's the reason they said. They said that the speculation was, anyway, Lululemon had no comment, at least the last time I saw. The speculation is that they have relationships with these local law enforcement agencies, and they don't want to call them for low-level shit like this because they're worried it'll hurt response times to more important issues, was the idea there. Yeah. And then also, I think Lululemon's concerned that employees trying to intervene creates liability for them. If there are injuries, those kinds of things, you can end up with a situation which we've seen before, where the people stealing actually have a lawsuit against the people they're stealing from, which is
it's hilarious. This is the half-ass backwards of the liberal left.
Peter's listening. You're listening. Listen, unlike the other company we always talk about, Target is an actual company. It has a symbol, TGT. Target is trading at 133. I see it going to 120, even 100. I think it's going to continue to drop. That's a real company. Unlike the other company we talk about, InBev. There's this dude on Twitter. He's got 1 million followers, this guy, Matt Wallace. This rocket scientist came out today and showed a picture of 1 billion Bud Lights on the shelf. And he said, there's no doubt about it. Bud Light is going bankrupt. And I'm like, dude, we're over a month into this. How do you fucking not know Bud Light's not a company? It's not a company.
Yeah.
It's a product. It's hurting the bottom line of InBev. There's no doubt. I wouldn't buy it going into July 4th like I normally do. But guys, come on, man. Get it right. Bud Light is just a product. That's all it is. It's not a company. Not a company. InBev's a company.
It was fascinating, though, to see those photos going around on social media of just completely empty shelves except for the Bud Light and all of the liquor stores and Walmarts.
Well, how about they're giving the shit away? Like somebody told me
they are.
I talked to a guy who walked into a store last week and he bought a case for like $5. And I'm like, at some point, if you like Bud Light and you can get 24 beers for $5 and sneak it off into the woods and drink it with your buddies, you know, I mean, how far is that boycott going? I mean, for a case for $5, we're going back to like 1983. It's crazy. But you got a lot of these companies, and right now the focus is on it. And for the short term, at least, they're getting hurt. I mean, Target.
I mean, guys, what's going to be super interesting is we are 2 days away, tomorrow and then the next day, from Gay Pride. We're going to see what these boycotts have done to the traditional, which is not traditional at all, because Gay Pride, it just came out of nowhere, right? Yeah. That's my joke. I talk about it. It's like, I don't really care. I just don't remember discussing it. Right. And let's be honest here. They took Gay Pride and they gave it the month where it's Father's Day. Right. I mean, like, so nothing's about dad, which they're trying to destroy. And it's all about Gay Pride, which again, I don't care. But it's like, who are you going to be crazy enough, which we know they are, to start to promote this thing when it is counter to your business, which I've been saying 4 years now, that we are in an anti-business era where making sure that you're in the good graces of BlackRock and the good graces of Vanguard and State Street and any of these other investment firms is more important than selling product.
Well, that comes down to the individual companies. It doesn't really come down to those, like Vanguard owns 1 billion funds. They own bits and pieces of every company in the world. But these individual companies, I guarantee you that overseas in Belgium, they've had some closed door meetings. And I guarantee you that CEO, I think he's from Brazil, has literally tossed out some very impolitical words out of his mouth when those doors are locked and he sees that stock price dropping and the board's on his ass. Because when that board gets on the CEO's ass and says, hey, pal, this is the deal. You got 6 months to get the stock price up. Because that's what happens. I guarantee you this guy's like, I don't give a fuck how you do it, who you got to shit on, what you got to do. We got to change shit and move. You know, you saw it happen with what did Bud Light do? They put like the Sam, you were saying, which company was it that put the camouflage?
Oh, it was Anheuser-Busch.
That was Bud Light.
Yeah, right? Anheuser-Busch. So they tried to do a 180. And I guarantee you that was the CEO. He's like, look, man, let's start selling this shit to rednecks. Let's show a guy fucking with a bow and arrow.
Here it is, Anheuser. You want to sell some beer? Here it is. Anheuser-Busch. We titty fuck America. And you just have chicks going around putting beers between girls' tits for free drinks. And boom, everyone's back. I'm telling you.
I think it's too late. I think most people are savvy enough to see that as pandering, which is exactly what the camouflage on the cans was. It's just pandering to them.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you read their defense, remember the video they put out, or the woman that was responsible for that campaign put out a video talking about how that group, that demographic was aging, and they wanted to expand to a new demographic, which is why they did the whole trans thing to begin with. And I think they're kind of over it.
Yeah, but they wanted to get away from the frat boy.
I understand what you're saying. But if you actually watch what the kids are doing today, all of it is interviewing chicks, asking about what their body count is. These women snitching on their snatches, okay, saying 400, and then telling about all the freaky shit they're doing. I'm just telling you, dude, this woke shit is just on these campuses. In real life, it's getting more and more knuckle dragger, bro. I'm telling you.
I think you're making the mistake of conflating YouTube culture with culture in general. I really do.
Not just YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, it's social media. Yeah, I just don't think that's real culture.
Social media is not real life.
Yeah,
I get it.
That's a fugazi. Social media is a big fugazi over here. It's not real. It's a cloud. It's cartoons. It's funny little stories. It's not getting up and going to the store, meeting people, going out, going to work. It's not real life. It isn't. And that's the fucked up thing. I mean, I would hate to be a kid growing up today because you don't know what's left, right, what's real, what's not. You have no idea. It's really been, and now you got the whole AI shit blowing up. Well, that just throws gas on the fire, man, because holy shit, if you're reading about the AI stuff, who knows what's going to be real or not? I mean, you saw what happened with that Pentagon shit last week.
Yeah, we talked about it in Broken Sim. Yeah, it's that. If you don't know, if you're listening at home, a picture went around, an AI generated image, completely fake image of a bomb exploding at the Pentagon. It was smoke everywhere. And I mean, am I wrong, Howie? It actually affected the stock market a bit, right? It took a little dip for a few minutes until they figured out what was going on.
For a few minutes, and then they were like, "Holy shit, that's not real." I mean, this is just
one photo. Think about if there was a coordinated attack, a disinfo campaign, like a foreign government, for instance, that wanted to tank the stock market. Somebody had shorted the stock market, and they just put out all at once. All of these false accounts just lit up with images of some kind of a terror attack. I mean, you could move markets with that kind of fake information generated by AI.
Yep, and then it came out right after, and then once it came out and said that it was fake, Nvidia went up another 60 points.
Yeah.
They made the chips to create that fake.
So funny.
I mean, it's a bizarre situation. And I sat back today and I'm looking. I'm like, all right, what's the next? Where's the next opportunity? What's the opportunity? What's the opportunity here? And I'll tell you. Somebody said a great thing, and this kind of reminds me of the 90s where the internet came into play, and it started with 5 to 7 stocks. Then there was 35, and then there was 3,500. And these stocks were going from 20 to 400 in a day, back down to 80, back up to 600. And I'm telling you, I have a feeling that this is just the tip of the iceberg with these AI companies. It's going to be really wild. And I got to find which 3 to 5 companies could benefit the most from this shit. And that's what we got to put into our tech portfolio. That's the
we should say NVIDIA too just joined the $1 trillion club. They had with their stock booming, they became the first chip maker to reach $1 trillion, which I mean, that is just crazy when you think about them being the first.
Which is more than what? Which is more than Facebook. Like some of these companies out there, you're like, holy shit.
Apple, I think, is $3 trillion, but this is first chip maker trillion. You know who didn't? Who didn't cash out on this? Who didn't cash out on it, Johnny?
Kathy Wood. She's doing damage control everywhere this week. All the financial blogs, all of the news outlets that cover finance, all had her rationalizations for not. She sold NVIDIA at literally the worst possible time she could have sold NVIDIA.
This lady has been in damage control for 3 years now. I mean, it's like she should just put on a big fucking fake rubber nose and some orange hair, paint her face white. I mean, because I'm sorry. Kathy Wood's a clown, man. She's a clown. She's fucked up every which way you could possibly, and you can tell when these guys mention her name on TV, they just all kind of cackle. They're like, yeah, we got Kathy Wood coming on in an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it really has set back women in that business, because they held her up as this example of what women can do, and they set her up for failure. I mean, it's almost as though it was done intentionally. They really did set her up for failure, and now she's an embarrassment to the gender.
She is an embarrassment. She's just everything she touches turns to shit, like on a weekly basis. It's crazy. So
we have the guests here. Last thing I just wanted to hit on the AI thing was that IBM announced that they're planning to replace nearly 8,000 back office jobs, mostly HR and things like that, with AI. 8,000 jobs. This is one of the first companies to make a big proclamation like this about what AI is actually going to mean. And don't you think, Howie, this is just a little preview of what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to somebody today about it, and those days, I think school systems now have to make the switch, and they got to start teaching kids, vocational trades. Kids got to learn how to plumb, how to build houses, how to become electricians, because that's where the money's going to be. Hey, I don't care. I don't see a robot going to a house, when a pipe breaks and talking to an owner and negotiating a price. I think that's always going to be there. Certain jobs are always going to be there because you're going to
for a while.
for a while until the world comes to an end.
Yeah, I
Which-
mean, eventually, I do think we have a Star Trek future where they have drones that literally can do any job. Once they put AI in the head of a robot, essentially, then I mean, there's no limit to the jobs they can replace, and that's
maybe
a
that's
scary
why
future.
everything's coming together, Sam. Maybe that's why the world is depopulating, because
Dude, there
We
is a big discussion about that.
we have to depopulate. If that's no one's going to be able to work or do shit. So maybe if we depopulate by half the population, the robots can come in and help us. I don't know.
All right, Sam, you want to take us to the guest? The guest is here, ready?
Yeah, very excited. This next guest, he's sponsored a bunch of my podcasts, and I'm very excited to have him on. It's James McMahon from Copy My Crypto, and we're excited to talk to him. So let's get to the interview. Hey guys, I want to talk to you about our good friend James McMahon at Copy My Crypto. Guys, we've seen so many people make ridiculous money from crypto, but did you know it's easy for you to do the same? That's right. The Copy My Crypto membership site shows you the coins that YouTuber James McMahon personally holds and allows you to copy them. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest, as you simply do what he does. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which despite heavy censorship has over 26,000 subscribers. Since March 2020, he's told his viewers to buy 26 crypto coins. Had you put $100 into each, it'd be well worth over $123,000.
Wow.
Of the 26 coins, his top pick coin called Phantom went up 692 times from when he said. That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members at Copy James, then stop what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/Sam. That's copymycrypto.com/Sam. That's SAM. Okay. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but my listeners will get full access for just $1. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/Sam. The recession is here. You can suffer like everyone else or choose to thrive. James is the real deal. Go visit the site now. All right, everybody. Very excited to have this next guest on. He sponsored a bunch of my shows, and he's in the mix with this crypto. We're very excited to have him on. You've heard me speak his name. Now you can put a face to his name. Very honored to have on the show. Please welcome from Copy My Crypto, James McMahon. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you keeping?
We're doing well. Thank you so much for coming on. Greatly appreciated. James, for our listeners who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, sure. So I run the Crypto with James YouTube channel. Despite the name, I don't actually like crypto. I'll point that out now. There's a big fanboy culture on crypto YouTube that's going on about, it's going to change the world. I couldn't give a toss about that. Like, I'm here to make money. That's why I'm in the crypto market. When I set up the YouTube channel, I was just trying to differentiate myself from all the other channels out there. So when I started, I was sharing all the coins that I bought in the videos. I actually started tracking it all on a spreadsheet, and I was going, look, guys, this is how it's doing, so people could sort of follow along. And they started doing quite well. Coins were doing 40x gains, 50x gains. One did a 700x gain. And I started getting subscribers asking me to keep sharing, and that's how Copy My Crypto was born. So that's where I share all the coins that I buy. Anytime I buy a crypto, I let the members know. Anytime I sell a crypto, I let the members know they don't have to work at all, and they can copy the profit I make without doing literally any work at all. And your listeners can join today for literally $1 if they go to copymycrypto.com/Sam. They'll be able to join, see all the coins I own right now for literally $1. Easy as that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for telling us a little bit about yourself. So crypto, where are we at right now? I mean, I was just talking to my friend Zoltan, who does a lot of the artwork for the show, and I was talking about at the crypto run at its height, we never truly appreciate how good we had at that moment when everything was outlaw, everybody's running and gunning, and it was so much fun, and we didn't realize how much fun we were having. And here we are. What is your thoughts on like what's going on right now with crypto?
Well, to be honest, man, look, because I got into crypto bloody early. Like, my exposure to it was a lot sooner than most people. My mate was actually. Do you guys remember Silk Road?
Of course, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So my mate was on Silk Road. He was like the 70th person to join.
Wow.
So he was, using that to get whatever he was getting, and he was explaining that it can only be done via Bitcoin, right? So he was talking to me about Bitcoin when it was 50 cents.
Oh my God.
I know. And he was going on, he was like, look, when this place is super active, when people are buying a lot of their, whatever it is, weed, LSD, whatever the hell they want to get, right? They were, the Bitcoin price was shooting up. And he was going, look, man, you've got to buy it. It's going to pump. It's going to pump. And I never invested before. So I honestly said to him, no one, by the way, Bitcoin back then, no one knew what Bitcoin even was. It wasn't in the news. No one had a clue. So he talked to me about it when it was 50 cents, $2, $3, $5, $8, $12, $20. And I just had no clue because I'm not invested. So I genuinely just kept going. I've missed the boat. I've missed the boat. I've missed the chance. Which is still a really common mindset for a lot of people now. Jesus, it took me like 6 months to convince friends and family to invest in crypto, and they were seeing what profits I was making. And I got interested in it, started researching it. I didn't end up getting into Bitcoin, but I got into Ethereum early doors, and Ripple, AntShare, that then became Neo. But I was shit at banking profit. I was so bad. Like I picked coins that were going up 40 times, 50 times, 100 times. And then when there's a market crash, I rode them all the way down, right? And it took me, it's just because you're new to it, right? So it took me a little bit of practice, but got really good at that. And for a few years, making really good money. And then lockdowns happened and I was bored because I couldn't go anywhere. So I started the YouTube channel. And that's actually how the YouTube channel began. I thought I'll test myself, see what my knowledge is like. So I started tracking the coins that I was in. Tracked the first 26 coins. And I just showed everyone what I was doing. So buying this coin, buying this coin, buying this coin. And it took less than 18 months for this market to just go wild. So if people are just putting $100 into the 26, that's a $2,600 investment. In less than 18 months, that would have been worth 123 grand in profit. But the channel just got stuck. Like I couldn't get the subscribers up.
Yeah.
The thing that, you know what I mean? Right?
We know, trust me, we know what you mean.
Yeah. And you got to be so careful what you say on YouTube, So the thing that actually kicked the channel on was I did a Udemy course, and I literally just called it the best cryptocurrency investment of 2020. And it was about Phantom. And I found Phantom at 0.5%. And I was confident it was going to 100x. Like I said that in the video and in the whole course. And it ended up doing 700x. So it went up to $3.46. So anyone put in $1,000, they made 700 grand. Anyone who put $2,000, they were a millionaire. So that did well. Then the next thing that kicked the channel on was we finally broke 10,000 subscribers on the channel, which I felt like a really big moment.
Huge.
Yeah, it was like just because I'd started it from scratch. So it was like big moment. So normally I share coins only on Copy My Crypto, but in this instance, I was like, look guys, I found a coin. I'm just confident it's going to 100x. So I literally titled the video 100x coin found. And it was called Ponyo Inu, right? And if your listeners go onto YouTube and type in Ponyo Inu, if they sort it by upload date and scroll down, they'll get to a bunch of videos of dogs because turns out it's a dog breed, right? But the first non-dog video is my video going 100x coin found. And in 13 days went up 390 times. So people put in $100, they make 39 grand in less than 2 weeks. This is why I love crypto. There's no market like it. And I don't love crypto in the sense of I love crypto. I love the market because there's so much money here.
A lot of action. And
yeah, you just can't get anything like it. So again, like so if I find another coin like that, unless I break 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which I don't think is happening, those kind of coins, those ones that I find, only go on to Copy My Crypto. And if people want to find it, copymycrypto.com/Sam. Like I said, I share every coin I'm in. Anytime I buy or sell a coin, everyone finds out about it. No work's required. Most of the people on the site never invest in anything, but they make the same way I do.
Let me ask you something. How do you pick the coins that you want to buy, like especially the ones who like 100x?
It's common sense, man. Like genuinely, it's common sense. Most people will go, "Oh, economic. It's not economics. It's not blockchain tech. It's not charts." I mean, that stuff's helpful, but honestly, common sense is the biggest thing that most people miss in this stuff. And there's two sort of ways that I use this to make money in crypto. So number one is just understand people and where the world's going, right? You guys know that as well as I do, right? Well, probably better than me, to be honest. Right? And then the second way is how people spend and invest their money, and it's often bloody stupid. But you can use both of those to your advantage. So like, number one, right? Understanding people and where the world's going. So when America started legalizing weed, mate, what do we know about weed? We know people love weed. They're going, where they can, like, my friends in the UK would happily go to a dodgy street corner to buy an eighth of someone, right? But now it's legal, you can buy it everywhere. So the moment it becomes legal, what happens to weed farms? They skyrocket in value, right? And that's just a non-crypto example, but it's common sense. So when I found Phantom, what I saw with Phantom was, look, I went through about 400 or 500 coins. I went through tons of information. But Phantom screamed out to me because at the time they were running the traffic light system in Dubai. Their entire tech was running the traffic light system. Now, Dubai, we know, is going to be the first, or going to be one of the first smart cities in the world, the 15-minute cities, whatever they want to be called, right? But the moment that they become that, they need tech that can run the surveillance and the data collection and all that shit. And what tech are they going to use to do it? They're going to use the tech that they've already got in place, which was Phantom, which ran all the traffic light system. So it's sort of an obvious one. It was always going to pump. It happened that they had a really good team and a few other factors, but it was actually just down to common sense.
Phantom is the same coin that is involved with the NFTs.
I mean, they've got some NFTs, yeah, but I mean, the NFT space is fucking weird. Like, it's really odd. I just, at the moment, it's pictures. People are getting excited about a fucking cartoon. I don't get it. Like,
we were talking about that last week. Yeah, I don't get it either.
Down the line, they'll be used for useful things. But not right now.
What are some of those then? What do you think? And by the way, I'm fascinated to hear your take on this. I had just assumed, having listened to you talk and read your ads, that you are a crypto fanboy, to use the term you said earlier. It's fascinating to hear that you just view it as an investment, and I like that. I'm reassured by that. But please, I'm just curious what you think the future of NFT is. What do you think some practical uses for it?
We will see contracts embedded in NFTs, mortgage contracts, things like that.
Oh, okay.
It's an inevitability. Like we'll start seeing legal contracts in some way drawn up through an NFT because it's on a ledger. The transactions are all recordable, right? But there's so many reasons I don't like the tech. The tech is laying the groundwork for stuff like CBDCs. There's nothing good about this.
No.
But that's beside the point. Like, so then that's part and parcel of the reason that I'm not a fan of this stuff. But there's money here. And you can't be naive to that. You know, to get people excited about, or to get people okay with the CBDC, what does crypto have to do? It has to get people excited. How do you get people excited? You show people making astronomical money. Mm-hmm. That's what crypto's doing. And we've probably got, you know, several more golden years of this before it is over-regulated and it's like every other market. So it's
do you still think you make good money in crypto?
Yeah, for sure.
Like to say what Sam just said, he just asked if you can make money in crypto besides Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's my question, because those two seem to be, at least in the United States, among the big firms. They seem to be the two that large firms like Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, they have a little bit of those two. So are there other things that are legit? Yeah.
And they'll stick around and they'll go up. But there'll be plenty of others. I mean, guys, there's like 20,000 cryptos. You know, you're not like, you probably missed the boat on the big gains for Bitcoin, but there's 20,000. You're not going to miss the boat on all of them. So they are going to go up. Like, it's inevitable. You know, I'll throw one coin out at you that is one of the most held by all venture capital groups, and that's Oasis. But people don't know unless they research. But there's a reason, because it's all to do with big data. And big data is how Zuckerberg and all those guys make their money. So there's always money to be made in crypto. And, you know, look, like at the moment, the mentality, most people view crypto with the lens of Bitcoin. It's like, you know, when my mate was telling me about Silk Road, when I was completely unfamiliar with investing, I was like, oh, I've missed the chance because it was 50 cents and now it's $20. And most people still view crypto with that lens of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Genuinely, it took me six months to convince some of my family to just copy, to like, guys, copy what I'm doing and you'll make some money. And as people, you know, continue to be exposed to crypto, they'll see the opportunities in the market. It just takes a bit of time.
How long do you think it usually will take for a crypto investment to pay off?
Realistically, the maximum that you're ever gonna, like, if you get in at the worst possible point, like at the start of a crash, 4 years. And that's like the maximum time frame. So if people start investing now, we will be in a bull cycle. You know, the market will be rocketing, but people don't really know the term bull cycle that often. So bull cycle is when the market flies up. The market will be flying up within 18 months from where we're at now. The next Bitcoin, without being too technical, Bitcoin halves every 4 years, right? So Bitcoin's halving in April-ish of next year. So all that means is it's twice as hard to produce Bitcoin, but that's always been the catalyst for a bull cycle. And it usually takes 6 months on from that. So if we add 6 months on to April, May of next year, we're looking at like November, market's going to start skyrocketing.
Just like
I miss those old days, man. I miss the old days. I'm just running and gunning, buying Shiba Inu, waiting for it to explode. I miss those days, man. Still hoping Cheddar comes back. Not looking good.
I think we saw, I mean, like we've seen it quite recently. You know, we saw Pepe, some shitty meme coin.
Oh, yeah.
Like 400 times 500, whatever the fuck it was. And that was only last month.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. We're dying to know what you think about Richard Hart.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
I think Richard Hart's a genius. I
really? Okay. Fascinating.
I think,
why,
look, man?
Why?
Because he's created something that's got a fan culture so strong around it. Yeah. Like he legit has whatever your perspective. I don't particularly like his fashion sense or anything like that. But what I would say about him, right, is the dude is smart as shit. He knows how to. He's cultivated a true fan base around Hex.
Yeah,
and that that did spectacularly. People made insane money off of that.
But it's down 90. It's down almost 90% for the year.
Yeah. But if you got in 5 years ago, you are still up about 400 times.
Yeah, but if you got into, you could throw a dart. If you got into just about anything 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, what changed? I mean, I could list 1,000 of them. But if you got into anything 4 or 5 years ago, you're up 2,000-3,000%. And in my opinion, I've said this before, it's because I think people like Richard Hart, and I'll say it, I'm not afraid. I think his situation is the closest thing to a Ponzi scheme that I've ever seen. Because because look, when
you're talking about the staking system, right, Howie?
When you start something, anything, in the first year, it goes up 2,000-3,000%. That's like the airplane, man. That's you and all your buddies. That's you and your buddies. And you said it. You just said it. Starting something like a community. And I have a problem with it because I like to look at every investment independently. Like, I like that particular coin. I own this coin called Chainlink. Why do I own it? Because I know a guy that works for a firm on Wall Street, and a year or so ago, he said, Howie, we're putting a little bit of money into this thing. It's down 11% for the year. I'm happy with that. But when I look at Hex, and I see it's down 90%, and all of a sudden I look online, and there's all this infighting now. They're like, is that really Richard's handle on Twitter? Because it sure doesn't sound like him.
I mean, I will agree. The Twitter thing's got a little interesting, but the one thing that I'll say, right now, I didn't get on Hex or anything like that, right? But
how come?
How come? Genuinely, I looked at it and I went, off. It's fishy. It just is. It felt fishy to me. Like, it genuinely did, right? So I stepped away. But what I did see was what he has been building is this pulse chain. And I do think that there's something there if he can get it working. The big question is, does it work?
It's down 50% 2 weeks. Since he started, it's down 50%. And it was supposed to, according to everything they tweeted the past few months, they said this pulse, man, when this thing hits the market, woo, it's going to be 100xer, 200xer. It's down 50%, and it keeps down.
I don't think that's good. I never looked at that as a solid like. I don't look at Pulse as a solid investment. What I look at Pulse as is a very good alternative to using Ethereum to swap things, because the insane. I wouldn't be picking it out as this is a go-to investment.
It needs adoption, right? To be...
And also you've got it. Unless people use it, there's no point to it. It's the similar principle with like Hex. Look, Hex, right? You know when a coin's down 90%, and we do see plenty of coins that drop 90%, but they will rebound and break new all-time highs. Like, we see that very regularly in crypto. So that wouldn't be of massive concern to me. The only thing that would be of concern to me for Hex, like at this moment in time, is if there's infighting in the community, because you do not want to see that, because the whole thing was built upon that. Now, Hex is not particularly something that I keep up to date with, but if the community is infighting, that would be a very big cause for concern.
Yeah, and they are. I mean, I had 5 or 6 of them hit me up on Twitter like, "You're right, man." And the thing is, they're pissed. A lot of the guys that started with him, and they stuck with him. And they call it sacrifice. They sacrificed, and they got their asses handed to them. They say the fees are too expensive, and they've lost their ass. And I heard from 5 of them in the last 2 days. And when you look at his Twitter handle, this guy hasn't bought a nice Prada bag or some high heel shoes in like 6 months. He doesn't even look like he's waxing anymore. So that tells me, is he still breathing? Is he in the Congo in a cave? Because that sure as hell isn't him tweeting anymore. And his little, and the thing that bothers me, he had that little tight group, 5 or 6 guys that were like, Richard's a god. We would follow him. He's like the Piper. And all these rats right now, are starting to fight a little bit. So
I'm not sure. look, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Hex. I had no idea that they were infighting because it's because it's never been one on my radar to invest in. I genuinely haven't really. Like, what I saw was a community building. And look, no doubt about it, within crypto, that's quite an important thing. You've got to get people invested in a product.
It pumps it up.
Yeah, of course. Like that really does matter. Like you've got to get community engaged. So, but the biggest thing that Hex always had going for it was that community. So if they're losing that. I'd fear for the long-term value of it. But again, I'm like in this scenario, I'm completely ill-informed on this one.
You are right about him being a modern P.T. Barnum, though. I mean, the guy was brilliant in the way he built that group of people.
You've got to get people engaged. If people aren't engaged, then you've got nothing. I mean, that's the job.
That guy was Webster's dictionary definition of a cult leader. I mean, he was he was a great cult leader. Like, you know, if I'm starting a cult and I want to make money, I'm hiring Dicky Heart, man. I mean, we go to happy hour. We're going to map out 5 to 10 things we can do just to sucker people in. Like, you get 10 people, you get 10 people, you get 10 people. You know, it was a beautiful.
Speaking of coins, I lost some cash on Cult. There's a big one. I got a big tip on that and lost probably like.
I miss all the porn coins. Those were fun. When all the porn stars are like, I'm going to make billions of dollars off this coin. So do you think it's hard to learn to make big money in crypto?
No, it's not. Look, it's no different to anything else. Like, look, you want to learn gardening, you know, you've got to start somewhere. If you want to learn fucking carpentry, you've got to start somewhere. If you want to learn a new language, you've got to start with pronouns, the verbs and all of that. The difference is with crypto, you know, you've got some different things you've got to learn, but you've got to get started. Payoff is just what's different. You know, you guys know, you've seen the markets. Like, the payoff in crypto is if you get it right, you can buy a villa in Spain. You know, if you learn the language right, you can speak Spanish to Spanish people, right? There's just a big difference in payoff. And the thing is the stock market, say, a stock goes up 30% across the year, you can be jizzing your pants, but you see that in a day in crypto. So it's like, it's just what you get used to at the moment.
So what is the symbol of Oasis?
Oasis?
Yeah, that was the coin you liked.
Pardon?
Oasis?
You're asking what the ticker is? Like,
yeah, the ticker.
I think it's Rose, ROSE.
Rose.
The reason I'm asking you that is because I'm going to buy that, and then I'm going to tell like 100 people, man, I heard a tip, you know, take your grandmother's money, take everything, buy Rose. Buy Rose, baby. I'm going to start the Oasis community.
Amen.
I think the VCs are the ones behind it, to be honest. But
hey, James, what would you say is the biggest mistake people make in crypto?
Honestly, it's following hype, like without question. And like we all know what hype is, but I suppose defining it. Look, you hear 1,000 people, you know, every crypto influencer under the sun, every Twitter feed under the sun, every crypto news channel talking about one project, and you get swept up in it, especially if you're new to the market. You know, we saw like in 2021, Kim Kardashian do an Instagram post about Ethereum Max. Obviously, she was paid to do that, by the way.
Right.
And we saw Floyd Mayweather rocking a fucking Ethereum Max hoodie or whatever it was, right? But people that were unfamiliar with crypto saw that, got excited, and then you saw so many crypto YouTube channels talking Ethereum Max up like it was a great thing. It was clearly a piece of shit. Like, it has no relationship to Ethereum. It was clearly dodgy, and people got wrecked on. You know, we saw in 2020, like, there was a coin called Yam that was around, and Yam was being hyped by like every crypto YouTube channel everywhere. It was legitimately like these channels with 100,000 followers or more, like guys that should know better, and they're talking up Yam like it's the greatest thing. And this kept happening, and then there was a wave of money that came into Yam. It was about $500 million that came in over about a 24-hour window. And I took a really unpopular opinion on this, and I like unpopular position, and I said, guys, get your money out. I think that my exact words were, get your money out quick, because this will crash and die. And 24 hours later, genuinely 24 hours later, it went from $130 to 60 cents. Just crashed. And the reason was, these guys, the guys that created Yam, said, this is an experimental protocol. Now, honestly, if I sell one of you a TV that I've made that I say it's an experimental TV, by the way, if it goes wrong, fuck off, I'm still keeping your money. You're not going to buy that TV from me, are you? So why would you invest in something that's an experiment? It's just, but when I did that, I had all the Yam fanboys that were cussing me out on the channel and like commenting, going, you piece of shit, da 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 da. It's like, mate, I've said something bad about the coin. I've not said I shagged your mum. What are you doing?
That's like the Hexicans love me. 100,000 of them. They're trying to find out where I live. But you just made an analogy. And you just made an analogy. That's the same as the stock market. There's no difference. The stock market is the same thing that what you just said, because when CNBC starts, when NVIDIA goes from 120 to 400, and all of a sudden somebody's grandmother comes out and says, I just saw on CNBC that we should buy NVIDIA because it's going, that's when you should sell. That's the day you should sell, when the bus driver, when the mailman, when those guys tell you that it's a good buy, that's when you want to dump it and run. I mean, that's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's just you see it so often, and there's actually a real problem in the crypto space around that. You know, people need to be not over emotional about your investments. It's an investment. You know, these are not. You shouldn't care about them, and if you care about them that much, probably investing is not for you. Just stay out of it.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're in love with your coin,
that's my biggest pet peeve.
Howie warned me all the time, and now Celsius has all my coins. Yeah, but we live and we learn.
That's my biggest pet peeve, is what you just said, is listen,
holding.
Holding, number one. But number two, look, if I buy Ford stock, I don't care if you like it or not. You don't have to buy it. I don't give a shit. I'm buying it because I like the product. I like the development. I like the research. I like the technology. I like it. If you don't like it, I'm not going to say, you're crazy. You need to join me and my fucking Ford guys, and we need to all buy it together, and let's be one big happy family. But what you just said, James, that's my biggest pet peeve, is what do you care if I don't like your coin? Why are you butthurt over that? Seriously. You shouldn't give a shit.
Stop getting butthurt. That's why I say.
You probably need a girlfriend, hobby. You know?
We all do.
Or just don't invest. Just don't invest.
Yeah.
If that's how you are as a person, you're not made for this.
I agree.
All right, James. Thank you so much. We don't want to keep you all day. One more time, tell them where they can find you and where you want everyone to go check you out.
Okay, thanks, Sam. So hopefully some people got something from this. I mean, I really do want to push on the common sense principle here. Like, you don't have to know. I certainly don't know everything about charts or everything about, economics or anything. Common sense is actually massively applies to investing. So hopefully people remember that. Now, if you're not ready for the crypto space, but you want to get in on it, go check out copymycrypto.com. It's where I share all the coins that I own. You can literally join today for $1 if you go to copymycrypto.com/Sam. It's where I share every coin I own. Anytime I buy a crypto, I tell members. Anytime I sell a crypto and bank profit. By the way, again, that was my biggest fuck up when I started. And it's the biggest fuck up everyone makes when they start in crypto. They don't bank profit, they get greedy. So I make sure my members don't make that mistake. When I find the next Phantom, the next coin that does a 700x, or the next Ponyo that does a 390x, if the members have copied me, they've made the same gains. And look, we've got thousands of members. No one or none of them have really been investing for that long. We've got step-by-step tutorials for all the members so they've got everything they need. and there's no work involved. And honestly, look, guys, this is probably going to be the only opportunity in your lifetime where you can make these kind of gains. Because at some point, the powers that be are going to regulate the fuck out of this market, and the gains are going to go. So, take the opportunity while you've got it. And like I said, if you go to copymycrypto.com/Sam, that's copymycrypto.com/SAM, you can join today for just $1.
All the links are in the description of this episode. James, thanks for spending some time with us. We had a great discussion, and we look forward to having you back on again whenever you want to come slum with us.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you, James. Copy My Crypto. Thank you, James. Great interview. We really appreciate James McMahon from Copy My Crypto coming on and having a little discussion with us. And, he brought up some good points, man. I liked his honesty. Howie went at him with the Helix, and he basically said, hey, I like that he got a little following going, but he seemed shady, so respect on that. So, Howie, let's wrap it up.
We're talking about Richard Hart with that seems shady. Hex and Richard Hart.
Richard Hart, shady, for sure.
Yeah. I like
listen, dude, here's the whole thing about any of my shows. Just wait 6 months, and then you'll find out we're telling the truth.
Yeah.
Just wait 6 months.
It's true.
We'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
All right, guys, real quick, let's get Howie's pick of the week.
All right, guys, we've been crushing it lately. Two things. Let's take a look at Alibaba. It's at 78. I think it can go down to maybe 73 to 75. Not buying it yet, but the stock I do like right here, I do like a financial stock, Morgan Stanley, down to 83.25. It may go down to 81 to 82, but this thing's a good buy right here, man. Really good buy. I love Morgan Stanley at this price. It's going to head back to 100.
All right, there you go, man. So, guys, as you know, we have a very exclusive Patreon for those who want to bang, bro. You want to bang with us? You want to go hang with the
If you want to bang with us or bang in front of us, either of those.
Well, we're down with that. So just
doubled our money on Ford last week. Doubled our money on Ford.
That's funny, Sam. I mean, Howie, I saw some people that were, when you first put that call out too, that were kind of shit talking Ford. And where are they now?
Why are you buying? I'm like, it's.
Where are you now?
Yeah.
Where are you now?
I that sold today was up 150, 155%.
Nice.
I
only made 61, but I sold.
Yeah. All right, man. At least you made money. That's all we care about. That's all we care about. All right, guys, follow us over to the Patreon, patreon.com/CashDaddies.